freaky, weird, ninja, wizard, Jedi talent. So it was May 2018, and I'd been with the company just under a year, and I'd kind of had too many red lines crossed for me to carry on working in the business, because in a leadership role, it's not just like the day-to-day stuff is annoying or disengaging, it's just that you can't support the strategic decisions that take the company in certain directions.
I remember the day Paddy organized a meeting with Nicole. He told me that, hey, I want you to meet Nicole at the coffee shop to talk about the workshop coming up. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, well, it's just some little planning meeting on the workshop. It's not that important. And Paddy kept confirming this meeting. He kept saying, hey, make sure you're there on time. I didn't know that it was not a logistics meeting, but I also started to get a sense that it was more important than just a planning meeting, because I don't usually care about planning the workshops with Nicole because I trust her to do it. So for me, it was a very unimportant meeting. But when I showed up there, Paddy was sitting there and he said basically, hey, we need to talk.
And this was a guy that I spent 2 years kind of following quite actively, been a big part of my life. He has changed my life and had changed my life. And I knew it was going to be a difficult conversation because I wanted to challenge him actually and kind of tell him the truth.
What essentially happened was Paddy had said or orchestrated a way through Nicole to say, because he needed her there to kind of, what he felt like was mediate, what he thought was going to be a very tough conversation.
So I asked Nicole to come and join that one-to-one, and we met up in a coffee shop. And this particular coffee shop had like different seating. And I remember at the time I was like, I need to find the right seat for this kind of conversation. And we sat down and we had the chat that I intended, and Nicole didn't say anything. And that's one of the things I like about working with her, is she knows when to not say anything when you don't need to.
He basically said, hey, I'm not happy in the position I'm in because, you know, I need to go on and start fulfilling my vision for my life. But I also could sense that he wasn't quite ready to leave yet, but he was on that path.
I said him the home truths that I wanted to. I said I couldn't support the decisions that he was taking about the business going, and it was uncomfortable, but he kind of took it, absorbed it, and I guess I could already see him starting to essentially kind of move on in his mind, and he gave me a lot of reasons why everything was going to be fine, and I really wasn't happy about that.
Paddy told me his feedback, and two things really struck out at me. He said, one, the business model that we're doing right now is broken and you need to do something drastic to change it. And he was totally right. And then the second thing he just said was, I could just tell, and I knew this from just the way he was sometimes showing up at work, or he basically was just saying, I don't feel like I'm getting through and I'm just not happy. He was doing a lot of things that I didn't want to do, like finances and things like that, but he wasn't happy doing them either.
And I said to Sam, like, what's going to change in this business as a result of today's conversation? And it was all superlatives. And then Nicole said, it was an amazing moment, it really was, I'll never forget it. She said to me, I want you guys just swap seats. That's all she said. And I've never seen anything like it. I went and sat in his seat, and he went and sat in my seat.
But yeah, switching seats was really powerful because for Paddy, I felt like he was having a bit of a go, just saying everything he wanted to say. And then I felt like he felt bad about that.
And I suddenly realized that throughout the whole of the conversation, he'd been looking down at me because my seat was a low seat and his seat was a high seat. I hadn't even noticed when I was talking to him because I was so like intensely involved in the conversation I was having. And then I suddenly realized that he was so much lower than me. And for some reason, just the sheer act of moving from his place to my place, my place to his place, all of a sudden I felt like this floodgate of empathy open up for him. And I knew that he was having the same experience just by looking him in the eyes, which I could barely do.
I could tell he just felt what I was going through, which is really interesting because, you know, you don't, as a business owner, you don't get to share that feeling, like the long nights, the late nights, the just wondering what's going to happen next. That's very lonely. And it was really a strange moment because he felt it.
And we both burst into tears, like literally floods of tears. And I'd never seen him cry like that day. And he said to me, "I'm sorry, Paddy, for burning you out." And you know, you could see like a lot going on there.
Just by switching seats, and that was really powerful. It was a great moment.